I showed up with everything, and they threw me in the programs. That was the spark for me.
From a hangar somewhere near the flight line, welcome aboard the Future in Flight podcast. I'm your host, Sean Starker, and if you've ever looked skyward and felt that pull of adventure, you're in the right place. Today's show is packed with inspiration, bold decisions, and unconventional paths. We're joined by Emma Crawford, aviator, storyteller, and the creative force behind Flying Doodles and the Hangar Bums podcast. Her journey from cadet to content creator is anything but ordinary, and it's proof that sometimes the best flight plans are the ones you make yourself. So buckle in, we're wheels up in just a moment. In a world where technology constantly evolves and changes how we navigate the skies, it's the human element, the pilots, creators, and dreamers who truly shape aviation's future. Today, we're joined by someone who embodies that pioneering spirit. Emma Crawford, creator and host of the popular YouTube channel Flying Doodles and the Hangar Bums podcast. Emma's journey isn't your typical point A to point B story. It's one of determination, adaptation, and finding her own flight path when conventional routes didn't work out. Whether you're an aspiring pilot, an aviation enthusiast, or simply someone searching for inspiration to pursue your passions, Emma's journey reminds us that sometimes the most interesting journeys don't follow the charted course. Every pilot has that moment, that spark when they realize the sky isn't just something above them, but a place they belong. For Emma Crawford, that moment came at 16, but her journey started much earlier.
I'm one of those people that I came into it because my dad was in it, and my granddad flew, but my dad kind of really made a career out of it. He was a career A&P IA, did some time in the Navy, and then he's an IA for Southwest. I was one of those kids that, you know how when you grow up in something, sometimes your kids don't really appreciate it as much as maybe some other kid who's always looking up does? That was me. I was that kid.
Emma grew up with airplanes in her backyard. Flying was just life. But it wasn't until she was behind the controls herself that everything changed.
I'd flown with my dad before, but it was different when I was in control. So it completely changed the whole perspective for me.
That new perspective led Emma to join the Civil Air Patrol, where she became the first person to complete their Cadet Wings program, a full scholarship from zero to private pilot. But beyond the technical skills, Civil Air Patrol taught her something more fundamental about navigating both the skies and life.
What I learned about that, hard work can get you a whole lot of a way, but even at a young age, the world is a political place. And you got to know who your friends are, and you got to know, you got to stand by your integrity. And even sometimes when standing by your integrity means that you face some adversity.
That lesson about integrity would shape Emma's path in ways she couldn't imagine. After Civil Air Patrol, she set her sights on the Air Force Academy, dreaming of becoming a fighter pilot. But there was a problem. Her grades weren't exactly stellar. So what do you do when your grades don't match your dreams? Well, if you're Emma Crawford, you find another way in.
And I made it to Oshkosh, and I'm like, I've never been the type of person that can prove my merit based off of my grades, but I can talk my way into something. So at the time, the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, his name was David Goldfein. He's a 4-star, and he'd done some really incredible things. He was speaking at a panel at Theater in the Woods. And I snuck backstage past the security forces, because when you got a big wig like that, they're covering them. And so they got distracted by somebody else, and I ran back there, and I go, I'm EAA. And they were like, where is your badge? I'm like, well, no, I need to talk to that guy.
That boldness paid off. Emma got into the Air Force Academy Prep School and later received an appointment to the Academy itself. But sometimes life throws curveballs, and Emma found herself facing a difficult choice between her fighter pilot dreams and her personal convictions. After leaving the academy, Emma had to figure out what was next. It's that moment we all face sometimes when Plan A falls apart and you're standing there wondering, now what?
I realized it wasn't for me, and that I might be the type of person that I need to carve my own path and be in charge of my own fate.
And carve out her own path she did. Emma found her way to biplane flying, giving sunset tours over Galveston, Texas. That's where fate stepped in again, in the form of Bobby from Flying Doodles, a popular YouTube aviation channel. 8 months ago, Bobby approached Emma about taking over his channel. Now she creates content that captures the spirit of aviation and the people who make it special. including in her podcast Hangar Bums, where she talks to those airport old-timers with the best stories.
He approached me and said, hey, I'm looking for somebody to take over this channel. And at that point, I'm like, I'm willing to try something different. So, he kind of gave me the reins. He showed me how to do it. He's given me a lot of constructive criticism, and I'm still learning. So, I started the podcast because it's kind of my roots. I mean, that's how I started this journey, was listening to these. And I say crusty, and I mean it endearingly. And I call them bums because they're not really, but it fits. So, they were just the people who made me, and I wanted to give back in a way, and I wanted other people who may not have had that experience of being the airport kid, of being the kid of somebody who's been able to give me that. I wanted to give them that platform. My podcast is called Hangar Bums, and it's about the, little old guys that you might find bumming around the airport that they're usually there. Everybody's got a George or a Bill or a Bob or a Mike. Everybody knows one of those guys.
Emma, what advice would you give to someone who's just starting out on their aviation journey?
You learn as you go, and you got to be willing to admit when you're wrong, and you got to be willing to listen to that constructive criticism. And most of all, nobody's an expert in everything, right? And so finding those people that are, if you aren't, find somebody who knows something. Having somebody in your pocket, in that toolkit, who maybe knows more about a particular topic that you're trying to cover than you do, help keep you from making you look too ignorant. I mean, gosh, nobody wants to be that person.
What's in the future for Emma? What's next?
Well, so I fell into the romance of the biplanes. So I ended up purchasing a 1929 Travel 4000 project that I'm going to be putting together over the next 6 to 7 years as funds permit. I'm still paying it off, so I don't have the funds or time to do it yet. But yeah, I plan to do that, and I'd love to take it around the country and inspire people with it.
Emma Crawford's journey reminds us that sometimes the most important skill in aviation isn't found in any manual. It's the ability to adapt when things don't go according to plan. Whether it's changing weather, mechanical issues, or life throwing you a complete curveball, what matters is how you respond. You can find Emma on Instagram at Emma Flies Planes, or check out Flying Doodles on YouTube and the Hangar Bums podcast wherever you get your on-demand audio. Up next, we're checking out aviation summer camps across North America to help you find the best one. Trusted in aviation training since 1940, ASA creates first-class products that empower pilots and mechanics to succeed. Whether your journey involves earning your airman certificate, flying or maintaining a new aircraft, or climbing the career ladder. Backed by integrity and exceptional customer service, our pilot supplies, books, and digital training help you navigate the dynamic aviation landscape. With ASA by your side, the sky is not the limit, it's just the beginning. Now, I'm really excited to share something special with you. A comprehensive look at the best aviation summer camps across North America for 2025. Whether you have a young aviator in your family, you're an educator looking to recommend programs, or you're a teen seeking an unforgettable summer experience, this segment is your flight plan to discovery. There's something magical about that sound, isn't there? The first time many of us heard an aircraft soaring overhead, it sparked a lifelong passion. And that's exactly what these summer camps do for young people. They ignite that spark and fan the flames of aviation enthusiasm. Our team at the Future in Flight podcast has researched over 100 aviation camps across the United States and Canada, and we've selected some outstanding programs that offer everything from hands-on flight training to space exploration, drone operations, and aircraft engineering. We put them all in a guide that's full of over 80 pages of information to help you select your next aviation summer camp. Let me walk you through what we've discovered, starting with some standout programs in the Eastern region. In Atlanta, Georgia, the Centennial Aviation Academy offers an immersive 3-day experience for teens aged 12 to 17 that includes actual flight time in a Piper Cherokee. Participants take turns flying in groups of 3, and they also tour executive aircraft, airport facilities, and the renowned Delta Flight Museum. For those looking for a more intensive experience, Randolph-Macon Academy in Virginia offers a 2-week residential aviation camp for high school students. This prestigious program provides comprehensive flight training using their own aircraft and state-of-the-art simulators, with a small class size of just 12 students per session. Moving on to the Central region, Sooner Flight Academy in Norman, Oklahoma stands out with their comprehensive week-long programs for ages 6 through 18. A highlight for campers ages 8 and up is the opportunity to participate in educational flights with FAA-certified instructors. For serious aviation enthusiasts, Illinois Aviation Academy's Aero Camp in West Chicago offers advanced programs for teens 14 through 18 with up to 5 hours of loggable flight time that counts towards pilot certification. Their Advanced Camp 2 even includes a special day trip to the renowned EAA AirVenture in Oshkosh. And here's something special. The National Museum of the U.S. Air Force in Dayton, Ohio offers free one-day aerospace camps for students entering 5th or 6th grade, plus a modified aerospace camp for students with physical or cognitive disabilities. These programs focus on rocketry and space science and are supported by the Air Force Museum Foundation. Out west, we have some incredible options as well. The Hiller Aviation Museum in San Carlos, California offers diverse week-long camps for children aged 5 to 15. With field trips to either rocket launches or the USS Hornet Museum, depending on the program. For those in the Pacific Northwest, Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum in McMinnville, Oregon runs aerospace-themed summer camps with 6 distinct programs, targeting different age groups from kindergarten through 8th grade.
Number 3613, fly runway heading, remain at frequency 28 right, echo, cleared for takeoff. Right, echo, cleared for takeoff, runway heading, remain with you, number 3613.
Clear for takeoff. Those are the words many young aviators dream of hearing, and several of these camps can help make that dream come closer to reality. For our Canadian listeners, we've included outstanding options like Mount Royal University's Young Aviators in Calgary, Brampton Flight Center's Youth Flight Camp in Ontario, and Acadia College's weekly pilot summer camps in British Columbia, which offer flight and ground time that can be credited towards a Canadian private pilot license. What I find most exciting about these programs is the incredible variety. There truly is something for every interest level and age group. Some camps focus on the pure joy of flight and aviation history, while others provide serious training for those considering aviation careers. Prices range from completely free programs sponsored by museums and foundations to more intensive flight training camps that can cost several $1,000s. When selecting a camp for your young aviator, here are a few tips. First, consider your child's interest and experience level. Some camps are perfect for first-time exposure to aviation, while others are designed for those with previous experience. Evaluate the camp structure. Those offering actual flight experience typically cost more, but provide invaluable hands-on time in aircraft. Look for camps with low student-to-instructor ratios for better learning outcomes. And don't forget about practical considerations like location, transportation, whether it's a residential or day camp, and of course, your budget. Many camps offer scholarships, so don't hesitate to ask about financial assistance. Most importantly, research safety standards and instructor qualifications. For camps offering flight time, look for FAA-certified flight instructors and ask about the camp's safety record and emergency procedures. To help you navigate all these options, we've created a free comprehensive e-guide titled The Ultimate Guide to Aviation Summer Camps. This guide includes detailed information on dozens of camps organized by region, age group, cost, and program focus. You'll find program overviews, key details like dates and locations, unique features that make each camp special, and contact information for registration. We've also included a comparison table to easily see which camps offer flight experiences, space and astronomy focus, robotics components, and more, plus tips for parents and important questions to ask camp directors. You can download this free guide right now at www.futureinflight.com/summer camp guide. It's our gift to the aviation community and our way of supporting the next generation of aviators. Again, that's www.futureinflight.com/summer camp guide, all one word, to get your free comprehensive guide to aviation summer camps. Just a quick note, many of these programs fill up quickly, with some already maintaining wait lists. The time to research and register is now. Coming up next, we take a look at some aviation superstitions in our Cockpit Culture segment. Now, we're taking a fascinating detour to explore something that exists in the shadows of all that precision engineering and rigorous training: aviation superstitions. That's right. Even in an industry built on science, mathematics, and meticulously designed safety protocols, you'll find pilots who refuse to fly without their lucky charm, crews who never utter certain words in the cockpit, and rituals that have been passed down through generations of aviators. These aren't just quirky habits. They're windows into aviation history, human psychology, and the unique culture that binds the flying community together. So fasten your seatbelts, make sure your tray tables are in their upright and locked position, and join me as we explore the world of aviation superstitions. Let's start with a question. Why would highly trained professionals working with some of the most advanced technology on the planet care about superstitions at all? Well, the answer takes us back to the early days of aviation, particularly World Wars I and II, when flying was incredibly dangerous. Pilots faced mortality rates that are unimaginable today. During World War II, bomber crews had roughly a 1 in 4 chance of completing their required missions without being shot down. With those odds, you'd grab onto anything that might give you an edge, even if it was just psychological. Many aviators developed personal rituals and carried talismans to cope with this overwhelming uncertainty. Charles Lindbergh famously carried a rabbit's foot during his historic transatlantic flight. Others refused to wash their scarves or flight jackets, believing their accumulated grime contained protective powers. And these weren't just individual quirks. They became part of aviation's cultural DNA, passed down through generations of pilots, creating a rich tapestry of traditions that continue even in our modern, ultra-safe aviation environment. So, what are some of these fascinating superstitions? Let me share some of the most common ones still practiced today. First up, touching the aircraft. Many pilots and even passengers feel compelled to touch, pat, or even kiss the exterior of the plane before boarding. This habit serves both as a show of respect to the machine they're entrusting with their lives and as a ritual believed to ensure a safe journey. Professional pilots often have their own variation, tapping or rubbing the seatbelt light before turning it on, or performing what's known as the Cessna butt wiggle to ensure their seat is secure. Then, there's the widespread tradition of avoiding certain words or topics in the cockpit. Many pilots refuse to discuss plane crashes while flying, believing it tempts fate. Russian pilots avoid using the word last in relation to flights, and whistling in the cockpit is widely considered bad luck across many cultures. The number 13 is definitely a taboo in aviation as well. You'll rarely find a Flight 13 or Row 13 on commercial airlines, and some carriers skip directly from Gate 12 to Gate 14. But perhaps most intriguing are the personal lucky charms pilots carry. These range from photos of loved ones to specific coins, stuffed animals, or even unwashed scarves from training days. Now, let's talk about weather superstitions. Weather has always been one of aviation's greatest challenges, so it's no surprise that many superstitions revolve around it. One of the most widespread is the belief that pointing at clouds or the sky will trigger bad weather. This curious superstition crosses cultural boundaries and has been documented in aviation communities around the world. Some pilots go as far as to only compliment the weather by directly addressing the sun, saying things like, "Hello, Mr. Sun, you're looking mighty fine today," rather than making general statements about good weather that might jinx their flight. Then there's the belief that flying over a rainbow brings exceptional good luck, a rare and cherished moment for any aviator lucky to experience it. These weather superstitions highlight something important. Even with all our meteorological technology, pilots still exist in a realm where they must respect forces beyond their control. These little rituals acknowledge that humility while giving pilots a sense of agency in the face of unpredictable natural forces. You might be wondering, in an era of sophisticated weather radar, rigorous training protocols, and aircraft with redundant safety systems, why do these superstitions persist? The answer lies in human psychology. Dr. Barbara Greenberg, a clinical psychologist quoted in recent research on flying anxieties, explains that superstitions provide a crucial sense of control in situations where we otherwise feel powerless. For pilots managing complex aircraft through challenging conditions, these rituals create what psychologists call an illusion of control. They help manage anxiety and increase focus during critical phases of flight. Rod Machado, a renowned flight instructor, notes that many pilots report their rituals help them maintain situational awareness and enhance performance. Whether it's talking to the aircraft, carrying a lucky charm, or performing specific pre-flight check sequences, these practices create a comforting framework of familiarity. And here's something fascinating. Studies show that these superstitious behaviors aren't signs of weakness. Instead, they often indicate experienced professionals who understand the gravity of their responsibilities and have developed personal methods for managing them. Aviation superstitions also vary fascinatingly across cultures, reflecting broader beliefs while adapting to the specific context of flight. In East Asian countries, particularly China, passengers sometimes toss coins for good luck, unfortunately sometimes into aircraft engines, which has caused several flight cancellations in recent years. This practice stems from traditional coin offerings at temples and shows how cultural beliefs transform in new contexts. As we wrap up this cockpit culture segment, I want to leave you with a thought. These superstitions and rituals are more than just quirky behaviors. They're a reminder of aviation's human element, that beyond all the titanium, carbon fiber, and computer systems, flight remains a profoundly human endeavor. From World War pilots placing gum on wings for luck to modern captains who won't fly without their special pin, these practices connect aviators across generations. They remind us that even as technology advances, the psychological aspects of flight remain remarkably consistent. The next time you fly, take a moment to notice the small rituals around you. The passengers who touch the fuselage, the flight attendants with their lucky pins, or even your own habits that you never realized were superstitions. They're all part of aviation's rich cultural tapestry. That's going to do it for this episode of the Future in Flight podcast. Huge thanks to our guest, Emma Crawford, for sharing her story and reminding us that aviation isn't just about charts and checklists. It's about grit, growth, and sometimes taking a leap into the unknown. If Emma's journey inspired you, we'd love for you to help this show climb even higher. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and if you'd be so kind, leave us a review. It helps tremendously in getting these stories to more future aviators. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and remember, the sky's not the limit, it's just the beginning. We'll see you out there and up there.